So you got your Sony A7 III and you want to get the best quality. Well, I'm going to show you my settings, so stay tuned. What's up guys, if you're new here, I'm Marisu and I post videos about filmmaking, photography, and I even post some of my edits in here, so make sure you hit that like button down there. So in today's video, I'm really talking about my custom buttons, Kodak, picture profile, and exposure. First is my custom buttons. If you want to copy my exact settings, I'll throw in a photo right here. You can pause it and copy these settings. I'm going to show you what I set for these buttons really quick, because maybe these settings don't fit for your style. It depends how you want to set it up and what makes it easier for you when you're out shooting. Alright, so if you want to custom your own buttons, all you got to do is go to menu and then go all the way down right here. Go to operation, customize, and then click on custom key setting. Actually this one, the second one. And if you want to copy my settings, you could go ahead and pause it. This is rear 1, rear 2, and rear 3. So I'm going to go to the live view and I'm going to show you what each of these settings do. So on the top one, on C2, I have that one as my steady shot, so I could easily go from stabilized and it's going to zoom in, and then I could go back to standard, which will zoom out. All right, next one is the dial all the way over here next to the shutter button. This one I have it set that changes my shutter speed. And then right here, AEL, or actually I have that set to white balance. Here, let me explain. So if I go to my white balance, which I have it set on my left key on this wheel, let's go to auto white balance. And then if I click on EL, it will lock that white balance. So in order for you to use that button, you gotta go to auto white balance. And let's say if you're outside and then you don't know what white balance to pick, AEL will lock the white balance, and then your white balance is not going to be switching. So this is basically like locking it. If it's daylight, it will lock it to daylight. If it's indoors, it will lock it to indoors. Next one is zebras, and then C1, I have that set to focus peaking. If we change it to manual, as you can see, it is focus peaking. And then let's go to this little button right here. This allows me to switch my focus, so expand spot, wide, center fix, spot, and then I could also go up and down. And then right here, the wheel, I have this as my ISO, and like I mentioned, the left button is for white balance. This top one allows you to switch how you want to view your image. And then on the right side, I have it set to zoom in. It zooms in 4 times, so whenever I'm manually focusing, I could zoom in and make sure it's in focus. And then this button in the center, I have it for picture profile. And then this top one, I have it for aperture. And then for my trash can right here, if you're shooting an S-Log, this is how it looks like. But when I click on the trash can, it basically color corrects it. I could get an idea on how it's gonna look like. And then for my C3, I have it set for my audio levels. I'm only gonna be talking about video since this camera is built for video. If you want me to do a separate video talking about photography, make sure you leave a comment down below. Next is Kodak. So my favorite Kodak settings are, you go to menu, you go to the top where it has a camera symbol right here, go to the right, and then go to image quality, file format. So if you're gonna shoot in 4K, I recommend choosing this one, XAVC-HS4K. The reason for that is because it is the easiest to work with when you're editing. It doesn't lag, it doesn't give you any problems at all. If you want to get the highest 4K, then it is this one, the one with the SI. And then this one has a lot of problems when you're editing in Premiere, it lags, but it does give you the highest quality. And then if you're gonna shoot in 1080, then I recommend this one. And then for record setting, I recommend choosing the 420. The 422 is a bit hard to work with, and you'll run out of space a lot, so you'll need a SD card with a lot of gigabytes. So I recommend choosing the 100M 420 10-bit. Next is picture profile. This is probably the most confusing part. Personally, I found it a bit difficult to find the best profiles. So I'm going to show you my favorite picture profile for S-Log and straight out of camera colors for run and gun shooters. So my favorite picture profile to get the highest quality, dynamic range, and color grading is S-Log 3. Alright, so for my exact settings on the picture profile, which is S-Log 3, black level I set it at 0, and then black gamma I leave everything how it is. Knee I leave it the same, and then color mode I put it at S gamma 3.cine. Saturation leave it 0, color phase 0, color depth 0, and then detail I switch it to -2. And now for the best picture profile for run and gun shooters. This profile you don't have to do a lot of color correcting, and that is HLG3. The main reason is because it has the best dynamic range when it comes to no color correcting. Straight out of camera colors, HLG3 is better than Cine 2 and 3. And then as for HLG3, black level I set to -5. Black gamma I leave it how it is. I leave that one how it is. Color mode I switch it to BT.2020. Saturation -2. Color phase 0. Color depth 0. Detail I leave it at 0. And that's about it. Last is exposure. I'm gonna explain this as easy as possible because I also struggle with this. It took me several days to figure it out. So when shooting an S-Log, you have to overexpose it to get the cleanest image. I know you were told to underexpose so you can retain the details on the shadows, but it's the complete opposite when shooting log. And how do you know how much to overexpose? Well, on your screen between your f-stop and ISO, you see a symbol that says mm plus 0.3, or depending on how you have your camera exposed. When there's a plus sign next to the number, you're overexposed. When there's a minus sign, you're underexposed. Do not underexpose. It will cause a lot of noise in the shadows. So make sure there's a plus sign when using S-Log. When exposing, the lowest I'll go is a plus 0.3, and the highest I'll go is plus 1.0. Also, you need to know about native ISOs. To get the cleanest image possible when shooting an S-Log, make sure you're at ISO 640 in bright conditions and ISO 12800 in low light conditions. Each picture profile has its own native ISO. So instead of giving you all the ISOs, I'll just give you a list of the best ISOs on each picture profile. So that is pretty much it. Those are the best settings for the Sony A7S III. If you want to speed up your color grading process, I created 6 LUTs for Premiere Pro. They're only $10 and I put the link down below. If you learned anything out of this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'm out.